Hey everyone, this is the second part of creating an appointment setting agent with the use of Vapi and N8N tutorial. If you haven't seen the first part of the tutorial, I would highly suggest you guys go check it out before you watch this video. But as you can see, we're back in N8N and you can see the workflow we've created in the first video. This workflow is getting triggered by one of the tools we've created in Vapi. The tool was called Get Calendar. Basically, whenever our agent is talking to our client and our potential client asks for an appointment time, our agent hears the interest in creation of an appointment time and triggers that workflow. This workflow basically goes and checks the Google Calendar availability based on the appointment times that the client is inquired for. And if the appointment is available, it goes through the route and creates an appointment. And if the appointment was unavailable, it goes through the false route and tells the clients that the appointment is unavailable. However, we don't want our agent just to end the call on saying, hey, the appointment is unavailable. Instead, we want our agent to offer an alternative date to our client. So basically, as you can see here, I created more and gave more versatility and functionality to our agent. So instead of saying, hey, the appointment isn't available to our client, we're going to offer them alternative dates that they can choose from. So if you go back to the Vapi, this is where we created our tools. So basically, I created in the same way, new tools that are going to get triggered by, that's going to trigger these webhooks. So this first webhook is going to be triggered by this new offer new appointment time tool. And let's start from the scratch. So you're going to create a webhook trigger. It's going to be post the same way as the first one in the previous video. You're going to copy this URL. You're going to use HTTP method as post, and remember, use respond to a webhook node, because at the end of the workflow we'll have a node called respond to webhook. So we're going to go to Vapi, and when it comes to integration, we're going to just copy and paste that URL that we just copied. Then the tool name I gave was offer new appointment time, and tool description is you will need to give alternative dates for the appointment. When saying the appointment time, read it as an exact date and don't use tomorrow, in a week, or similar saying. Instead, say it as is, for instance, January 27th at 3 p.m. So whenever we get an appointment time, we want to read it as is, so our OpenAI has easier time to work with it and the subsequent nodes understand the information better. So I also created a function called offer new appointment time. The preferred appointment time of a client wasn't available, thus wait for data to come and you'll see the available slots. Wait until you get the data. It may take up to 10-15 seconds. Sometimes it will bug and go too fast, so I give it this function. So if you go back, for this node, for this webhook trigger, I went back and I created confirm appointment. So basically, whenever we offer our client 3 new available dates, I created a separate workflow. Basically, let's say it offered us March 6th. So we want our agent to confirm that date. Hey, are you sure you want to have March 6th as, not like are you sure, but instead saying something, okay, March 6th is confirmed and I'm creating an appointment. And it's going to trigger this workflow, basically confirming the dates that he chose or she chose from these 3 offered dates. I did exactly the same thing here. I went to the webhook, I copied the post, pasted it here, and here I gave it confirm appointment as a tool name. Tool description was after offering an appointment time tool is executed and offered 3 new potential dates. This tool will be triggered once a client chooses one of the dates from the offered dates. Date and time. Alternative offered date and time of an appointment will given and extract the date based on the given information. The date can be in different forms. For instance, it can be tomorrow, in 2 days, and the day after. Basically, we're giving it how to work with the data and what it take it as. Here, it's finished the appointment and create the event in a Google Calendar. Only after the offer new appointment offers new dates and client chooses one of those dates, you go ahead and trigger that webhook right away and create a Google Calendar event. However, before proceeding, just double check with the client if that's the day they want. But I think the best way would be if we actually test this agent, and then I'll lead you and show you how to create it step by step. So let's go back and let's go to the cleaning service agents that we've created in the previous video. And in the previous video, when it came to the prompt, we stopped right around here. So it was first always call get calendar tool, check the user's requested date and time in Google Calendar. If the slot is free, appointment is confirmed, schedule the event and confirm your appointment is scheduled. If the slot is taken, tell that the slot is unavailable. Alternative scenario. So I gave it an alternative scenario. If the appointment is unavailable, then call offer new appointment time tool and give it 3 alternative dates. If the client chooses one of the provided dates, then call confirm appointment tool in order to confirm the appointment. Basically, we gave our agent an alternative scenario, basically saying that, hey, listen, if the time wasn't available, don't stop. Instead, call another tool and it's going to help you out. It's going to offer new appointment times. So you saw how we created the functions. So let's call the agent real quick so you can see it for yourself and understand it better before we start actually going node by node and explaining everything. So let's test the workflow. And if you go to the Google Calendar, you can see that today is Monday 3rd and tomorrow 2 p.m. is unavailable. So let's ask for 2 p.m. getting executed.
Hey, this is Sarah with Orlando Cleaners. Who do I have pleasure speaking with?
Hey, can we make an appointment for tomorrow at 2 p.m.?
Let me check our calendar real quick. Unfortunately, the slot for tomorrow at 2 p.m. is unavailable. Would you like me to offer you some alternative times?
Yes, sure.
Let me see if there are other dates available. Here are 3 alternative dates and times for your appointment. 1. March 4th at 3:45 p.m. 2. March 5th at 11:45 a.m. 3. March 6th at 1 p.m. Which one works best for you?
Let's do March 6th.
Just to confirm, you'd like to schedule your cleaning appointment for March 6th at 1 p.m.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Perfect. Let me put you in on our calendar real quick then. Your appointment is confirmed for March 6th at 1 p.m. If you have any special requirements or need to provide access
So as you can see, it worked perfectly fine. Basically, we requested an appointment times that was unavailable. Then our agent checked the Google Calendar and realized that this appointment time is unavailable. So it called the offer new appointment time tools that we just created, and I showed you how I created it. Basically, calling another trigger, and the other trigger, when the other trigger got executed, it went and checked for the appointment times that were available and gave it three alternative dates. Based on these three alternative dates, we chose ones that worked for us, which was March 6th at 1 p.m. After we confirmed March 6th at 1 p.m., our agent heard that and called the confirm the appointment time tool. Once it confirmed the time tool was executed, it double asked us, basically double checking that that's the dates that we want. After we said yes, this webhook was triggered and the Google Calendar event was created here at 1 p.m. So everything went smooth, and let's actually go to the executions and let's see. So yeah, let's go back here, copy to editor. So we have the, 1 second. Let's see, yes. So we want to work with this data. I just want to show you how everything is transferred to a new node to make sure you guys understand. So we created a webhook trigger here. It has this URL post. We copied this post URL and we pasted it in one of the functions, which was offer new appointment time. Let me show you again. Tools, offer new appointment time, and you basically paste it here. Then we used responses using respond to webhook node, because at the end of the workflow we have respond to webhook node as a node. Then I used the date and time, get current date, in order for our workflow to understand what is the current date and time. Later, I did the HTTP request. Basically, this was a get method. I used this URL, googleapis.com calendar. So basically, this URL, it gives an access to our Google Calendar to check for the events that we have in our Google Calendar. So as you can see, we have 2:45 p.m., 10:45 a.m., 1:45 p.m., and many more. You can find this URL if you just Google. Let's see, where can I have it here. If you Google get events, Google APIs, and this is what you're gonna get. googleapis.com calendars. You can basically copy this one and paste it in your HTTP request. I would remove event ID unless you're looking for a specific event. As you can see, I have only events. I don't have no event ID. So basically, I want my Google Calendar to be checked for every events that we have. Basically, having the information of, hey, what dates are not available in our Google Calendar. You'll understand what I mean. Authentication, predefined credential type. Google Calendar credential type is going to be Google Calendar OAuth 2 API. Google Calendar OAuth 2 API going to be Google Calendar account, the ones that you guys will be using. So I would suggest you guys set it all up. Then I use the code. Basically, the way it works, let me explain it in a simpler way. We want our Google Calendar GET request to get all the events that are basically unavailable. No, to find all the events that we have in our Google Calendar, meaning that if we have an event in our Google Calendar, then that means that date and time is unavailable because we have a busy slot. So when we have it, we're going to use this code to filter it out. Basically, we're going to remove previous events, basically before the current date and time that were in the past. And then we're going to sort them from the closest to the, basically from descending to ascending in terms of the dates and times. Then with OpenAI, then we're going to use OpenAI in order for OpenAI to go and look at the 3 unavailable dates that we have, not 3 unavailable, to the for the events that we have in our Google Calendar. So OpenAI is going to go look, for example, saying, oh, if Tuesday at 2:45 we have an event, that might mean that maybe at 3 p.m. we have nothing going on. So that means at 3 p.m. we can create an appointment. If we go for Wednesday, we check, oh, we have only one event at 10 to 10:45 a.m. What that means? That means that every hour before or every hour past 10:45 is available, meaning that we can make an appointment. The same thing for Thursday. Hey, we have an event at 1:45 p.m., 1:45 to 2 p.m. Oh, 15 minutes is not enough because we have 45-minute appointments. That means we have to skip that time slot. 2:45 to 3:45? Yes, we might be able to do something, maybe 2:50 as an appointment. Or 3:45 to 4:30. That means we have an event there, then we have to look for the hours past that event. And the same thing before 1 p.m. Basically, here with the code, the way for you to get this code, you basically can go to ChatGPT if you don't know, guys, how to code. And you can be like, hey, I have a get HTTP request to get events in my Google Calendar. After I get all the events, I want a JavaScript code that looks at these events and creates a variation of events that will be available passed on the dates that are unavailable. Create a JavaScript that uses create date and time, then filter out past events and sort them by start date to the furthest. So basically, I copy it, and let me see. And you're gonna paste it here. It's gonna sort all your events, and it's important that it returns the date string wrapped in an object. Otherwise, you'll have a hard time passing all this information to OpenAI. It's gonna once it filters out all the events, removing the past events, because you don't want to even look at the past. You want to look from the current time and further. You don't care about past events no more. You're just gonna give a bunch of information for OpenAI and kind of make it work even harder, which you don't want. Then After using this code, as I said, I can stop here and you guys can just copy it and paste it for yourself. Then I create an OpenAI message model. So here, OpenAI account, text, resource, message model, GPT-4 Turbo. You can use the models that you like the best. I just kept it here simple. And here I was, based on the provided busy dates and times, suggest the best 3 available 45-minute appointment slots. Ensures that the following rules are respected. Suggest times must not overlap with busy slots. This includes ensuring there is a full 45-minute buffer between the end of a busy slot and the start of a new slot. Basically, when we have 1:45 and 2 p.m., the next appointment, we can't make an appointment. We want to make sure that our OpenAI doesn't say, oh, 1:45 is available, because for the next 45 minutes, we have 2 p.m. appointment. We want to make sure that from the event we have at least 45 minutes available. If the same day is unavailable, suggest slots at the same time. So here, let me see where I mention it. 1 second. Yes, prioritize times close to the client's initially requested time, because we have clients' initially requested time information. Same day, slightly earlier or later. If the same day is unavailable, suggest slots at the same time on other days within the week. If no slots are available within the week, suggest times 1 week later. Avoid repeating the same time slots within the session, even across multiple runs, because if we're gonna keep offering more and more dates to our client, we don't want to use the same dates. We want to always variate and offer new dates, because we already know that the ones we offered first time didn't work out. So you're gonna use here messages, text. Let's me remove. I'm not sure what's the problem here, but let's fix it. So I'm not sure what happened here. Maybe I used it on a different tool, but basically you want to remove this, and instead you're gonna go search for your tools, tool calls, and here you're gonna find the arguments, the first requested dates that we wanted, date and time tomorrow at 2 p.m. So now it has the information, and this is the start time and the end time for the requested appointments that didn't have availability. Basically, we need that information so we can offer the date and times for alternative dates closest to that. We're gonna use it as a text user. The first one, make sure you text system. And that's what you're gonna get information. Role assistant March 4th at 3:45 p.m., March 5th at 11:45 a.m., March 6th at 1 p.m. So it basically worked, everything worked. It gave us the closest dates still to the current date and time. And it gave us the times and the date slots that were actually available. But I'm sorry. But if you include arguments, date, and time tomorrow, it's just gonna make sure that it's always closed. Because if I asked, "Hey, can we make an appointment next week?" it probably would have crashed and gave me actually slots that are the same, right? Very close to the current date and time. So if we ask for the next week, I would have wanted my agent to give slots that are available closest to that date, basically a week from now. Then we're gonna respond to the webhook, and we're gonna use results, tool call ID. I showed in the first tutorial how to create this JSON with the use of ChatGPT. Pretty easy. So you're gonna include your tool call ID, which is gonna be the, let's see. Yes, it's gonna be this one, basically the from this webhook that we used, and the result is gonna be JSON. Basically, it's gonna be something from our OpenAI. Let's see. One second. Yes, it's gonna be from our OpenAI content, March 4th at 3:45, March 5th at 11:45, and March 6th at 1 p.m. We're gonna put it in result, making sure that this data is passed back to our agent and passed to our client. Then let's go to executions again, and let's find the last workflow execution. and just copied this to editor. So unpin. After these dates were offered, we chose March 6th at 1 p.m. Then, once we chose it, this trigger was triggered. We used the same method here. We copied this one, we went back to the tool, we pasted in the tool integration for the URL. Then we use HTTP method as post, and always remember to use responses using respond to webhook node. Then we include the date and time here as well for our workflow to understand what is the current date and time. Then we messaged our OpenAI model. The message was, if I'm not mistaken, is completely the same as to the first workflows that we've created in the first video, but I'm just gonna, you can just pause it here and copy and paste it, but here you're a professional appointment setter and your goal is based on the user's input to create and give a correct appointment that later will be transferred to the Google Calendar. Important notes, if any specific time zone is mentioned other than, always convert it to EST. You can basically, guys, pause it and read it, and always make sure that you use it as a system. You're basically giving a system prompt. Then the user is basically your input to the ChatGPT. Current date and time is JSON. We copied this one, we paste it here. And date and time of the appointment is going to be, you're going to use this. 1 second, let's see if you can find, yes. So under your webhook 2, because you confirmed March 6th at 1 p.m., this information is going to be available. So you're going to copy it and paste it right here of the date and time of an appointment. Then the agent always makes sure that it confirms with the person. So before the event is even triggered, if you remember, our agent said, just to double check or make sure, your appointment is going to be set for March 6th at 1 p.m. So basically, our client has a chance to say, oh, I didn't mean that, or I didn't want this appointment. I actually wanted on March 5th. Basically, giving a chance of our client to change their mind or something like that. Then we basically do the same thing here. Basically asking for the end time of our appointment. If our appointment is at 1 p.m., that means it's gonna end at 1:45 p.m. because our appointment time is 45 minutes long. Remember, the role is gonna be system. You gotta make sure you choose the models that works the best for your tasks. You're gonna message the model, and the resource is gonna be text. Text is gonna be JSON. Basically, you're gonna go back to OpenAI 3 and you're gonna just paste it here as the user input. So as you can see, we're getting here in content 13:45, meaning 1:45 p.m., which works perfectly. Then it's gonna respond back to our client saying that the appointment is confirmed, everything is good, and after it's gonna wait and create an appointment in Google Calendar, which it created at March 6, 1:45 p.m. Let me go back to the assistants real quick, and if you just want to, guys, pause and copy and paste whatever I have, it's gonna be actually here. Yes, you can just copy and paste this part. And in tools, I already showed you how I used it all. So yeah, I decided to show it in a simpler way so it doesn't take that much time. But if you guys have any questions or if anything didn't work for you, just please reach out to me via comments, or you can always email me or write me in my socials. I will always be more than glad to help you guys out. I hope you have a great day or night or wherever you guys are. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.